Hey guys, Justin Baker here with Jay Primrose Properties, and today we're going to talk about kind of a not fun subject, to be honest, and that is, I thought I sold my house as is, and now the cash buyer or the buyer is coming back to renegotiate or coming back saying, hey, we got to get the price down because of XYZ. It could be repairs, it could be some other reason, and really, how do you handle that? So what happens is, again, I've done previous videos that have talked about this, but unfortunately there's a lot of kind of fly-by-night, not legitimate cash home buyers out there that really might be new. Sometimes they're taught this stuff, so they might not even really fully realize kind of how this is unethical. But what happens is a lot of times when a homeowner talks to a cash home buyer, I should say like that, and they make an agreement or they have signed a purchase agreement with this person, they think that that's the one who's actually going to be buying their house. And that oftentimes is not the case. So there's a lot of companies that do what's called wholesale. So wholesale is very common, where you think about there's a wholesale price and then there's a retail price. And so if you buy direct from a supplier, you're buying it you're buying it wholesale, not to confuse you. So wholesaling is a pretty common thing. So what happens is sometimes when you're talking to a cash home buyer, they are representing like they will buy your home, but they're really buying it wholesale and they're going to mark it up and then sell it to an actual cash buyer. So they're not actually the ones that you're dealing with. And what happens oftentimes is because they don't actually buy homes, they don't know what the true cost of repairs are, what the true number of what they can pay you is. So they might go in there and say, hey, we can pay you this much money. And then they come back to you after it's supposed to be an as-is, no repairs deal. And they say they need to get the price down. And so what really happens in that situation is they went to their cash buyer, the one who's actually going to be buying it, or I should call it the end buyer. And the end buyer looked at that and said, there's no way we can pay that. You offered way too much. And so then the wholesaler, or basically the cash home buyer, comes back to you, the homeowner, and says, hey, I'm so sorry, we found this repair or whatever reason, we need to get that price lower. And that's really an unethical practice, but unfortunately it happens more often than you would think. And so many times I get phone calls from a seller who says, hey, I thought I had a price, and then they came back and they want to drop the price $30,000, and they didn't really give me a reason, or they said, this was wrong, but they already saw the house, so it doesn't make sense. And so I like to just make sure I educate homeowners and sellers on really kind of what happens. And so when you're looking to talk to a cash home buyer, you always want to vet them. You want to make sure they're a legitimate company. Check them out. Look for Google reviews. They should be able to recommend title companies and call the reps if you want to, even just to make sure that they are truly actually a cash home buyer and they are the ones buying the house. So with wholesaling, I actually think it's not all bad if they let you know what's happening. So what I take issue with is when they're doing that and they don't tell you. And so it's kind of this shadowy thing, and it's just not good for anybody. So for me, I believe in transparency, being open. And sometimes too, there are things that will come up on an as-is transaction. One of the things could be like a sewer line or things that you can't actually see with your eyes. But in reality, if you're a solid, reputable cash home buyer, you should be having these conversations ahead of time, and really you should be knowing your stuff enough to be able to roll that into a fair deal for a homeowner. So if you've run into that situation where it's an as-is deal and they've come back and tried to renegotiate with you, get you to lower the price, don't play those games. Feel free to reach out to either another company or ourselves. We'd love to have a conversation with you, see if we could help you. And a lot of times, because they're not in the middle of it, that spread that they're going to make to their end buyer, we can actually just put that in your pocket. So when you work with someone who's actually the one buying the home, we can pay you more because there's not someone in the middle. And so I'd rather that money ends up in your pocket than in theirs. So anyways, if you have questions or if you're considering selling, we'd love to have a conversation with you. Feel free to give us a call. And thank you so much for watching the video. I hope you have a great day.